Hello and good evening, class. Today I'll be introducing a respected and esteemed professional in the field of accounting, Mr. Larry Spring, a CPA. He is a graduate of the prestigious Tulane University in Louisiana, who owns his own accounting firm, Achievement Consulting Services, right here in Miami for 3 years. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mr. Spring, can you please give us a brief description of your business, the services you provide, and the clientele you serve?
Achievement Consulting Services is, I would describe it as a boutique consulting firm. I guess the primary service I provide, along with a couple of my business partners, are general accounting services, tax services, as well as business valuation services. In addition to that, under the umbrella of the consulting business, I also serve clients who want to do business with state, local, and federal government. So I act as not quite a lobbyist, but a consultant that helps them, guide them through the process, given my past experience in government myself.
And being a local businessman, makes your business special and easily relatable to so many. But what were the challenges you faced when creating this vision of the firm?
Honestly, time and capital. It's very difficult managing sometimes the workload, because really, although I have some like I said, business partners, typically I have to rely on myself to do everything from making copies, putting together little things, making sure, like if I have large client meetings, that the coffee or refreshments. The only good part, because of technology, I don't have to worry about having a receptionist to answer my phone and send me messages and faxes. So the other piece is the capital. It is having to fund and keep the working capital of the business up from my my own resources. It's been a challenge, but fortunately I've been able to maintain my same style of living and been able to work through it. So.
And what were some of the experiences, knowledge, and assets you possessed to help create this vision?
I spent over a decade in the commercial banking industry, various positions from internal staff auditor, internal auditor, all the way up to a vice president and corporate controller, responsible for the accounting function, managing the investment portfolio for the institution. In addition to that, I spent almost another decade in the municipal finance arena here in Miami. My last position, I was the chief financial officer for the city of Miami. So collectively, at the city, I worked on a number of small and large transactions. I sold almost $500 million in municipal bonds on behalf of the city. Negotiated the Marlin Stadium deal, or the portion of it related to the city. Worked on a lot of economic development type projects like the Port Tunnel, that is now almost completed, going to the Port of Miami. So, that experience helped me prepare myself to come out back, or rather I should say back to the private sector, but on my own this time.
And when was this transition from Louisiana to Miami? Because it seems you have a lot of experience in.
I graduated college in 94, and I stayed in Louisiana for about 2 years. I'm from Miami.
Oh, okay. I was on that.
Yeah, I am a native of Miami. Proud graduate of Coral Gables High School. So I'm publicly educated, but was blessed to be able to have the opportunity to go to Tulane. And I took it and I rode with it. So I returned home in '96, really wanting to be home and trying to make some things happen here. And I've been very fortunate.
All right, and as individuals with business backgrounds, we know the harsh realities of creating your own business, such as 85% of all businesses fail within their first year. As an entrepreneur who has beaten the odds, can you tell us which year was most challenging for you, or can that even be determined?
I'm gonna say it's still up in the air right now. Although I will tell you that I had actually saved for the opportunity. So going into it, I had about a year and a half's worth of savings to be able to deal with capitalizing the business, i.e., you know, everything from purchasing equipment, business, you know, being able to take potential new clients to business, traveling, all that stuff, and being able to take care of my, you know, my personal responsibility, mortgage, taking care of my family, and all that stuff. So I had that kind of set aside, and that really helped me out because I could easily see that first year would have been a killer for me. You know, the other thing is, you know, the thing about being on your own is you got to collect. You know, it's easy to meet people and people need help with their businesses and things of that nature, but getting them to pay you on time, particularly in this economy, is difficult. So sometimes, you know, I had to change my approach to solving that issue, i.e., get some upfront money or a deposit or retainer before we start an engagement, and then make sure I have someone that comes in and helps me with my billing every month. So every month it goes out, and then I use other technology tools. I have I have the PayPal Diamond, so I can, you know, I don't have any.
Okay, don't get too much into that. That's a follow-up question. So let's say that for now. All right, tenacity despite failure, calculated risk taker, opportunist. Do these characteristics describe you?
I'd say definitely calculated risk taker, more so than anything. I took a reluctant risk, if you will. It was time for me to not work for someone else. The time had come, and there were forces happening in my personal growth that put me there. So it was just time, and I made the leap.
All right. And how did you get started in this business?
Honestly, this is not my first foray into doing my own thing. Like many other folks that work in corporate America, I started doing things on the side in my own time. So I was able to start building a bit of a base before completely jumping out on my own. Okay, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention too, Daryl Sharpton, who is also a CPA here in Miami, is the owner and founder of one of the largest African-American owned CPA firms in southeastern United States, and pillar of this community, actually the chairman of the Public Health Trust Board right now. The other is a gentleman by the name of Joe Ariola. He's actually technically now retired, but owned a printing business here in Miami for a number of years and sold it for a very large sum of money some years back. And now he has he concentrates on giving back via sitting on, public boards and things. He also sits on the Public Health Trust Board. I would tell you, those two gentlemen I talk to almost daily. When I'm not feeling in the right space, I call them to get encouragement. When I have a deal that's a little difficult, I call them to see how I should approach it. And I would say that even someone like myself who's over 40 years old, you still need a mentor pretty much through every part of life. The funny thing about those two gentlemen, even though we focus on business, a lot of what they tell me is about focusing on my family, and the other stuff will kind of take care of itself. Yes. So, having that mentor is definitely paramount. It's been one of the keys to my success.
All right, now where do you see your company in the next year?
I actually see it in a very great space. I am just recently I was me and a business partner were seeking to acquire some land owned by one of the cities here in Miami. The item was approved last Thursday.
Oh, wow.
So we have one more, got a negotiated development deal, but that is a multi-million-dollar transaction. We'll have, we're gonna develop the property, but that will absolutely take my business and put it in a space, a financial space, that will probably take care of me for the next 4 or 5 years.
Awesome, awesome. And where do you see your company in the next 5 years?
My goal for achievement is to be a company that grosses at least 7 figures annually. But I want to continue. I don't know right now today, and I don't know where my path will lead. I still want to keep it a boutique firm. I can see myself bringing on additional partners. In fact, I've had some conversations about expanding with a couple of folks, and we're framing it out right now. But definitely, I want to keep the brand. It's a brand that I have had for Achievement is a brand that I've had for now 8 or 9 years, going through all of those other business ventures, and has landed me here in this spot. So it's definitely my baby, and I want to see it grow. And I want to see it at a point where I can not be here every day or be the sole provider of service and have to go, court the client, do the contract, do the billing, and be, have it be a place where I can literally have employees, take care of things that come in, do business development, work on the things that I want to work on, and then perhaps take a few months off a year and enjoy my family and the spoils of my work.
All right. And for our final question of the day, what advice would you give to future entrepreneurs?
Have a plan. Believe in yourself, despite what anyone says, including your mentors. Sometimes, they want to treat you, we may have a father-son dynamic or a little big brother, little brother dynamic, and they want to see you do well. And they may not be ready, like your mom. She doesn't want to see you take too many risks, but she believes in you. The other, be fearless. Be fearless in your approach. But train yourself. I know there are a lot of accidental entrepreneurs out there, and they've made it. But if you, like me, I guess, because of my training from the 8th grade till now, was to take calculated risk. And so I truly prepared myself to be here in this position. And know when to say when. It definitely was a time, the time came where I knew, it was time for me to start and just go out on my own, take the step and do it. And I will tell you, it is the thought of working for somebody else again is, I won't say never, I'll never say never, because opportunities always come around, but it's a very difficult thought for me right now.
Thank you. Sadly, this is all the time that we have. We would like to thank the viewers. And finally, again, Mr. Spring.
Thank you.
No problem. For the opportunity of this interview. We would like to leave with a final quote to ponder on. The further back you look, the more forward you can see. Winston Churchill. Something we can all learn from. Good night.